So Mr. Knight has entered the contest. Let's discuss. Yeah, so Mr. Knight enters the contest with a reckless debuff, sleep charges, his unstoppable, and he does not idle. So, yeah. And we're going to get into all of his good utility. Let's talk about his combo first. What is his combo like? Well, his combo was not bad. I actually enjoyed his combo. His animations were a little bit off for me at first, only because, you know, it's a newer champion. They felt a little bit slower than other champions, but maybe it's just something I need to adjust to. But nah, I didn't find him clunky at all. I thought he was kind of fun to play once you figured out, you know, his moon phases and understand how he works. He's still a little bit complicated and can be kind of intimidating to, you know, the average summoner who's kind of new to the game. But once you figure him out, he kind of reminded me a little bit of Cosmic Ghost Rider in terms of his play style and all the different ways you can play him. And I'm not saying he can do damage like Cosmic Ghost Rider, I'm just saying his play style. But what are his strengths? Well, one of his strengths are his well-timed block inflicts tranquilize. So keep that in mind. Like a well-timed block is going to inflict tranquilize unless, you know, you're playing against a mutant, and his tranquilize probably won't be all that effective against mutants. But, you know, why would you play a skilled champion against a mutant is my question. Another one of his strengths is his sleep charges. On his SP1, he's going to inflict sleep charges, and at 100 sleep charges, you're going to put the opponent to sleep. And since he does not idle, you're going to have a clean opening. So I'm definitely here for the openings. Another one of his strengths is his unstoppable. If, you know, if an opponent like Photon here shuts down his dexterity, he goes unstoppable. So keep that in mind. Another one of his strengths is his injury debuff, inflicting injury, which also increases his damage, as you can see here, when you're playing against him. So, or playing with him, excuse me. It's so easy to inflict the injury too. It's basically on account of the specials or the heavies. That's how I did it. Well, let's talk about his weaknesses. One of his weaknesses is unblockable. Since he's kind of reliant on, you know, his utility to do to get, you know, to shut down the opponent. If someone is unblockable, he can't get his tranquilize on the opponent, so he's not going to be as effective. And a lot of his utility is based on non-damaging debuffs. So if you actually inflict debuffs on him, he's not going to be. He doesn't have any immunities really, so he's not going to be as effective. And again, like I said before, he's kind of weak against mutants. Mutants will still be able to stack their debuffs even with the tranquilize on him. So keep that in mind. Do not use a mutant against. Do not go up against a mutant with Mr. Knight. Speaking of which, let's talk about his immunities. He doesn't have any immunities, unfortunately, so yeah. Oh, come on! What is he like awakened? So let's talk about his awakened ability. Well, I'm gonna read it to you. Whenever one or more of the opponent debuffs fail to trigger due to reduced ability accuracy, they gain 25 sleep charges. Rounded down. As a defender, this includes debuffs from quest nodes on Mr. Knight, so not bad. 1.5 seconds after reaching 100 charges, inflict sleep passive for 3 seconds and remove 100 charges. Cooldown 6 seconds. The timer to inflict the sleep is paused during any special attacks. As a defender, when the opponent activates a special attack, they lose 25 sleep charges per level of the special attack. As an attacker in battlegrounds, at the start of the fight, inflict 10% injury passive for 12 seconds. So I think he kind of does need to be awakened. And I feel like he was definitely built for battlegrounds. His prestige is 33, 420, so not bad prestige. So yeah, he does need to be awakened, but I think he'll be fine at low sig for anyone curious. I don't think I'll put any 6 stones into him, but I'll use the skill awakening gem on him. What is he like on defense? I think as a defender, he's kind of going to be a weak defender. I don't think he's going to be all that effective. I definitely think he was built for offense, just like Silver Samurai. But yeah, like he doesn't have any immunities, and I think a lot of his specials are relatively easy to dex. So I feel like as a defender, he's not going to be placed on defense a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, he probably can trip you up with the tranquilize and all that other stuff, but I feel like if you have certain champions like Hercules here, you still should be able to melt him when it comes to inflicting damage, because I didn't have a problem with him on defense. I didn't find him tricky at all. I thought pretty much anyone worked against him because he's easily to deal with. Like, he's not a star champion. He doesn't have a high resistance to anything. So yeah, I didn't find him difficult to play at all. But again, that's just my opinion. Leave a comment below if you struggle with him in defense. But you know, I didn't think he was that bad on defense. All right, let's talk about his stat focus. The recommended stat focus I recommend for him is crit damage and crit chance, because, you know, with his injury and his other, you know, utility, you definitely want him to crit more, and he's always going to crit a lot. And as a defense, I'll recommend either block penetration or crit damage, because his specials can be really long, and if you get the opponent in a corner, you can definitely do some decent damage even through the block, and so keep that in mind. But yeah, I feel like those are my recommended stat focus. Let me know in the comments below if you will put a different stat focus on him. Again, that's just my own personal opinion, also Kabam's opinion too, so keep that in mind. What relics would I recommend for him though? I think the Black Panther relic would be best for him. It won't, you know, help with any major mechanical improvements from the Black Panther relic, but he does have a number of things that interact nicely with this relic, primarily triggering his crits and be benefiting from the crit damage, so keep that in mind. The Masteries I'll recommend for him. I don't think he would be good for the damage Masteries. I'm letting you know that now. He doesn't have a way to heal, and you kind of got to throw a lot of specials with him, so I don't think he'll be all that effective with the damage Masteries. But I think Precision and Cruelty and Inequity will benefit him a lot. Also Parry, because, you know, you got to get those real-time blocks in for his Tranquilize, in my opinion. So again, that's just my own personal opinion. I'm pretty sure there will be someone out there that will probably use him with the damage Masteries, but I think that will hurt him more than help him, because you kind of relied on throwing those specials, and in Battlegrounds you want to finish as high as you can, with as much health as you can, because we all know how the scoring system is. Overall, what are my overall thoughts with him? Well, my pros and cons are, I think he has great utility. I think he's fine at low sig. I think he has good damage, and he does not idle. I like that he's just not going to idle. His cons though, I think he's a weak defender. He's complicated. He has a complicated playstyle, which can be intimidating to a lot of summoners. I think he needs to be awakened, and he's kind of AI dependent, since you got a, you know, well-timed block to get the Tranquilize, and we all know that sometimes, you know, your well-timed block isn't going to work, and sometimes the AI knows how to hit you, so you can't well-time block them. So again, my own personal thoughts. I think overall, I think he's going to be good offensively. Me personally, I don't think I'm the biggest fan of this guy, only because of, you know, his moon phases, and he kind of does need to be awakened. But again, that's just me. I don't think I will be disappointed, but I don't think I will really invest like 6 stones or awakening gems into this guy. I'll probably still will rank him up maybe, but I'll probably choose Silver Samurai, because Silver Samurai has an easier ramp up and he's easier to play to me. But, you know, I think overall he is a decent champion. I'm pretty sure people will find some way to use him in the contest to take advantage of his utility. Me personally, I feel like he's too easily countered by the entire mutant class, and just shut him down. Especially, we all know my favorite champion is Onslaught anyway, or you can use Archangel. So he's just, I feel like he's not a bad champion, but he's just not the champion for me. I think he's still pretty good. He has pretty good damage, and if you can figure out his moon phases, you'll be good. But again, those are just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you think of him. But overall, solid champion offensively. I think defensively, he needs some work. But if you're new here, if you can hit that sub button, and for anyone else, if you can hit that like button, I'll greatly appreciate it. Y'all take care. Have a great and wonderful day.